Well, blew my mind. Hey there, my friends. I'm Super Sid, the business shaman, and I'm one of the co-founders of the Life Coach Launch School. And in this video, we're going to be specifically talking about a network that you can get online, and it's called Gaia, G-A-I-A, Gaia. And Gaia has become almost kind of like the Netflix for things like self-healing, meditation, and ultimately the supernatural. And ultimately, in today's video, we are going to be talking about, should you be watching Gaia, and is it something that can actually help you when it comes to your self-healing journey, manifesting anything that you want, and ultimately going out there and just feeling better every day? So what is Gaia exactly? And ultimately, I had that exact same question when my wife, Tiffany, brought it up to me a couple of years ago before we had it. And ultimately what we did was there was a new documentary that it came out, and we wanted to watch that new documentary. It was called Emotion, and Dr. Joe Dispenza was in that one. So we really wanted to watch it. And so Tiffany was like, hey, they're doing a free trial, let's get the free trial and watch this and see if it's something that we like. So that was ended up being exactly how we got involved. But then what Gaia actually turned out to be for me was basically kind of like a Netflix, right? It was a Netflix full of documentaries and shows and things like that are on demand, which is very much like Netflix. But ultimately you go in, and the types of topics that you're getting, because you're not really getting movies, you're getting more things like documentaries, and you're getting things like education and stuff like that. But the education and the documentaries are around things like self-healing, meditation, supernatural, more stuff around those types of topics. And when we, first got in, like I said, we actually were attracted to it through a documentary that was called Emotion. And emotion was all around, like, what is emotions? How can you, basically, get more in control of your emotions? And ultimately, how can you start feeling better, in the sense of following an Eastern medicine way instead of just taking pills all the time, right? So we got really, really excited about watching that. And that was kind of what opened the door for us. But when you get into Gaia, what Gaia is going to be is you're going to see how it's, it's organized very much like Netflix. And you're going to, again, go online. When we got it, we actually went online and we got it. Then we just hooked up our computer to our TV, and then that, basically showed us Gaia. I'm not sure if they actually have an app on smart TVs. They might, but regardless, like, we would watch it on our laptops, or we would just hook it up to our TV and we would watch it that way. And, when you go in, you're going to see, like, at the top, there's going to be kind of like, an organization or kind of like a navigation of like what is where. And, they'll organize all of the videos that they have on there. And then when you go, or you can kind of just start scrolling down. And when you scroll down, you're going to see, they have them organized there as well. Now, again, what's really, really cool is the topics that they're going to have on there it's not movies that you're going to watch. It's going to be like your latest rom-com, right? Like what this is going to be is it's going to be things that are, educational around self-healing, things that are educational around manifestation, things that are educational around Eastern medicine, things that are educational around people from those periods. They're going to have things like documentaries, which I think is awesome because it gives you different ways to consume the content. I personally love watching documentaries. I love learning the entire thing around, like they had a great documentary on there about Ram Dass and another one about Yogananda, right? Getting to kind of watch those documentaries and learn the entire story instead of just the facts, I really enjoy. So it gives you like a bunch of great different ways that you can consume content, but it gives you the content and the themes all kind of anchor back towards self-healing meditation. They even have some things on there about the supernatural and, UFOs and aliens and stuff like that, which, I know is a great topic that people really enjoy consuming. So, when you look at like what this is, right, it's really cool because it really comes back into being education and not just content around a story that is played by, different characters and new movies that come out, every couple of months. So it's really neat kind of how they put it together. And I think, for us, it's been a great source of not only something as like, it's entertainment, but at the same time, it's education. It's something that we can learn that can be tied back to ultimately like what our goals are, what we want to manifest, the things we want to do, because it's stuff that we can use on that journey. But it's also been great because like with our son is obviously going to get to a point to where he's going to, love screens, love phones, like loves all that stuff. But, he's getting to a point to where, I'm sure like when we're watching something, if we're going to be watching something, right, we don't, do it like crazy often, but if we're watching something and he's up, like that's what we're watching. So it's good, content for him to take in than playing video games or possibly watching, something on television. This is something that he's going to be able to start consuming himself, the information, and then start absorbing that information into everyday life, which we believe is going to help him in his progress. And ultimately, as he grows up and matures, this would be the information that he takes in on an everyday, on a constant basis that we believe, will help him as he grows up. So ultimately, that's kind of what Gaia is. That's how we got involved. And ultimately, those are the types of things that you can expect when you go and you subscribe to Gaia for, I believe, what's only like, really just a few bucks a month. But Sid, isn't watching TV not good? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I truly am a big believer of that. But at the end of the day, what I started realizing, the older and older that I got, and where we started, we have phones, we have access to YouTube, and we have access to things where we don't need a TV, a quote unquote TV, to really consume, the content. And I think at the end of the day, when people were talking about, oh, you shouldn't watch too much TV, or you shouldn't do this, or you shouldn't do that, when it came to screen time, I do believe that screen time in and of itself is something that we should manage. We shouldn't be on the screen, for hours and hours and hours on end a day, like I used to be, right? However, when we can really control, and be disciplined around how much screen time that we have, which does include our phone and includes anything on our computer and of course includes TV, then ultimately, that's really the thing that we want to make sure that we manage. At the end of the day, though, when we look at the content of what it is that we're consuming, I think when we're watching TV or we're watching movies or whatever, and we look at that as a source of entertainment, we kind of get lost inside the story of what it is that we're watching when it comes to TV. At the end of the day, though, when we're watching something like Gaia, even though it does have documentaries and it does, have quote unquote TV shows that you would watch on, on their app or on, of course, on your, on your computer, at the end of the day, it's looked at as part of education. So even when I was growing up and I started realizing this, before I even knew what Gaia was, even if I watched television, quote unquote, I never just went and surfed television. The things that I would watch would be things like the Discovery Channel or things that would relate back to whatever it is that I'm doing in my life that would ultimately help me get to where I wanted to go. And this was the big point that I think I really realized, and the realization that I realized after a lot of this was understanding that, yes, I want to control my screen time, but if I am going to be doing screen time, what is the screen time or what is the content on the screen that I am watching, And how can that be related to ultimately what I'm doing? At the end of the day, I think that's what Gaia is so great, is because it ultimately has a lot to do with not only what we love and enjoy, which is self-healing and life transformation, but ultimately it's education-based content that can be used to get smarter, that can be used to go out there and ultimately accelerate feeling better, getting over trauma, not getting over being stressed out, all of that stuff. So if we look at, again, the content that we're going to consume, at the end of the day, if we're consuming something like Gaia on a managed basis, that means that we only consume it so often, but we use it as a source of something that we can use to accelerate feeling better or whatever that might be. That's obviously what we believe going to be a good thing. If you're enjoying this content today and ultimately wanting to embark on a self-healing journey, then we encourage you to subscribe to this channel down here below. By subscribing to this channel, you help more people get notified about ultimately their self-healing journey, how to get started, and help us go out there and spread this message of healing the world. So go down there and make sure to subscribe to this channel. All right, so we've talked about ultimately what Gaia is and ultimately how Gaia can be used to help us accelerate on our self-healing journey. Now let's talk about how we can go out there and get it. So Gaia is very much like an app that you can download on your phone, I believe, but also you can go to on your computer. That's how I access Gaia a lot, because we'll watch this stuff on our computer, on our laptop. So you can simply just go to www.gaia.com. So that's going to be Gaia as in Gaia. You can just go to www.gaia.com. And I believe they might still have a free trial. They've had that in the past. But ultimately, when you go there, you can just subscribe to the network, just like you would like an ESPN Plus or, like some sort of like an HBO or whatever. It's just a subscription that you can download. You then get on-demand access, just like you would if you were going to Netflix. And you literally can just scroll through all of the content that they have in there and are consistently adding each and every week to go in there and educate yourself on self-healing or on meditation or on manifestation or whatever it is that you are walking on right now in your self-healing journey to help you and, on your life transformation, and ultimately go out there and start feeling better and everything that Gaia brings to the table. So again, you can just go to their website, quickly subscribe. It's minimal cost for what we remember, and it's a month-to-month type of subscription. So very much like an app, it's very easy to access, and everything's on demand. So once you pay the minuscule subscription price that you get, then ultimately you're instantly given all of the content that they provide. So that's how you can go and get Gaia, and ultimately, right, again, maybe it's possible that you have the same experience that we did when it comes to Gaia, and you can use it as an educational source of content that you can use to go out there and ultimately start feeling better and accelerating that self-healing journey. So if you're wanting to start a self-healing journey, we got a free resource for you here at the Life Coach Launch School that is down there in the description. It's called our 7-day nervous system reset. And ultimately for us, it's the first thing that we give to all of our high-end clients to ultimately help them clear out the bad and ultimately clear out what's blocking them so that they can start a self-healing journey without all the baggage. You can go down there in the description and grab your free 7-day nervous system reset right now. And don't forget, let's dare to heal so that we can dare to lead and ultimately dare to make an impact. We'll see you in the next video.